Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live Team Alliance training for Sunday, March 24th, 2019. The time right now is approximately 9:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get started with training, as usual, I would like to welcome our new students. Those of you who are joining us in training for the first time, whether you're here live with us tonight or you are watching the replay of tonight's training, you guys have definitely made a wise decision by training here with us on Team Alliance. This is a very powerful learning environment. This is a powerful cultural environment. You'll find that we do everything a certain way, and it is always productive. We're constantly building. We're constantly improving and getting better. We're in an evolution right now where the training is improving all the time, and it's something that's happening organically without even trying to do it. And it's because of the nature of what it is that we're doing, which is basically studying the market and ultimately learning how to study ourselves in the process. You're going to find, as you train here, that you're going to learn a lot of information about how we interpret the market and its behavior and how we observe and study. But more importantly, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, because the market is going to expose you. It's going to show you what you're made of. It's going to reveal how little patience and how little discipline you actually have. And this is not something to be afraid of. This is actually something that you should embrace, because it means that you can rectify that by knowing exactly what to do specifically to help bring your patience and discipline levels up to where they need to be in order to do this successfully. Okay? It's very exciting to be a part of Team Alliance. I can really say that with full confidence. You know, when you're here, you'll find out for yourself what I mean by that specifically, because of what it's going to mean to you personally. But you know, we're like kind of like a family. You know, imagine being in a family and it's like everybody's good at playing like basketball, but you know, like how you got your bench warmers. When you first come in, it's like you're a bench warmer. You on the bench, so you just got to sit there and just relax. Sit down and just wait until, you know, you get some skill, and then when you get some skill, then you can get some playing time. So it's kind of like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit. But we're going to get into some training. For those of you who are new, inside of the playlist that I sent you when you first signed up, videos number 301 and everything after that. But beginning with number 301. As a matter of fact, I want you to watch video 301 multiple times, 2, 3, 4 times, and then continue to watch the videos that follow. It's going to acclimate you with the entire protocol that we use. We're going to get into it tonight as well, and we're going to actually do the option pricing exercise, which is a specific tool that we use. It is intended to show us whether or not the market actually has stability. And the reason that we want to know that is because stability ultimately leads to the permission that we need from the market to actually get in position to take trades, or I should say get in position to receive trades. Because if the market lines up and the market moves in position, it will literally give us trades. And that's all we wait for. If the market decides not to do that, then we will leave our money in our account, not take any trades, and not lose any money. So we really only have two options. Either the market is going to give it to us, or the market is not going to give it to us. And our choices are simply to receive when the market is given, and to keep our money when the market ain't. That's it. All right, so you're going to learn how we do that. Now, I'm just going to go through a quick basic synopsis of what you're looking at on this platform. This is the Nadex platform, which is the platform that we use to trade. We're trading specifically 5-minute binaries on the Nadex platform. Okay? The 5-minute binaries on the platform are reflected up here where you see these numbers. This is called the binary ladder. And it's basically called that because you can see that the actual prices of the options are like stair-stepping. Same way that you would walk up a ladder. So for example, 31.89, 91, 93, 95, 97. So each of these options represents an actual strike price in the market itself. These prices, these strikes are what they are because of what the price of the actual market is. Okay, so the market price itself, which is the price of the market that we're watching, which is the GBP USD or the pound dollar, that number is reflected down here on the chart with this black box with the white number in it, and it is also reflected up here in the binary ladder where it says indicative price. And for some reason it's actually not displaying right now, but you'll see it update. I'm pretty sure it is. So now you see where it says indicative price. So that number, and then down here on the chart, the black box with the white number, they are pretty much almost exactly the same. The difference is that down here on the chart, you'll notice that this number will move slightly different than the actual indicative price. But what we go by is the actual indicative price. Okay, so the number up here, 31,938 is where it is right now. This number is also displayed one more place on the platform. When we actually open up a ticket, and to open up a ticket, all I did just now was I clicked the box right here to the right of where you see the strike prices. Let me get a highlighted line so I can show you which line that I'm making reference to as I'm talking. So right now we're looking at this line right here where the purple is. This represents the 31.95 strike price. Okay. The reason that I selected the sell, or I clicked the red box, and the red box is just the number, not the number, the color of the box that was under the line. That's the number that you would click if you were selling. If I was buying, I would have clicked the blue box or the one above. So red is for below, blue is for above. And you'll see that just throughout the entire chart. Like down here, it's the same thing. Red would be for above this line. I'm sorry, blue would be for above this line. Red would be for below this line. Same thing here. Blue is for above. Red is for below. So, and actually, let me move this purple line down here now. So we'll look at this now, the 31.91. So I'm going to click the sell for that line. All right. Now, if you look on the ticket, you see right here where it says Nadex Indicative Index. This is the exact same number as the indicative price. They are the same number. This and this, exact same number. So when we are looking at the price of the market, we want to have a ticket open anytime that we're beginning to apply the protocol. The protocol that we use begins with the environment of the market. What we do is actually look at how fast is the market overall moving. The speed of the market overall represents the market environment. That's simple. How fast is it moving? And we're able to see what that is specifically by looking at this number and more specifically looking at the last digit. Right now you see the 1 is on the end. It's at 31911. That 1 is going to change. We're going to see what it changes to. It just changed to 0. It's going to change again. It just changed to 09. It's going to change again. It just changed to 07. Okay? Now, Now it's at 06. Okay, so you see that the price keeps moving, and every time that the price moves, that last digit changes by a number. The number that we want to see that change by the most frequently is 1. We want to see that change by 1. So just now, for example, we're from 7 to 6. Now it's at 6. It's going to change again. Went from 6 to 7. So it just moved multiple times, and each time that it moved, it only moved by 1 micropip. That is exactly what we want to see. We want to see the market consistently moving at 1 micropip every time that that price changes. Once we recognize that the market is doing that and that that 1 micropip is dominating, we know that we are actually in a slow environment. We are in a slow condition. And the slow condition is what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting to see. So anytime that you come on the chart, the very first thing that you're doing is this. You want to look at what your environment is. You want to open up a ticket. You want to overall look at what your actual speed is. And you can do this pretty much like towards the end of the binary. If you're on the chart, you can see it overall. But we want to look at this at the end of the binary. Why? Because the end of the binary is the most important part of the binary. This is the 5-minute binary. It starts at 5 minutes and ends at 0. The end portion of it is the most important to us, and we're going to get into why in a moment. Okay, so slow condition, we know is a speed of 1 micropip dominant. So we want the dominant speed to be 1 MP or 1 micropip. Once we've established that we have that, we then move on to the second phase of the protocol. That was the first phase, the environment, how fast it's moving. Second phase is how is it moving. We call that the behavior. Now, the behavior of the market means how is the price actually moving, and more importantly, how is it moving at the end of the binary. Just like I mentioned a moment ago. Now we're going to get into why. Why is that important? Why is the end of the binary so important, and why are we concerned about what the price is doing during that time? Someone tell me. Why the end? Bingo. Randy says because that's where the win and the loss is decided. And that is exactly right. This is a binary. So what it means is when this clock runs out, when it goes to 0, wherever the price is relative to the line or the option that is in play at the time. So, for example, if we're looking at where the purple line is right now, it's sitting on a 31.91 strike price. If we were selling this option or selling this line, we would want the price of the market to end below the line. This is why the last minute of the binary is the most important. Because whatever the price does during the last minute is going to decide if you win, because the price would have to remain underneath the line. So if price remains under the line and you sold, then you would win the trade. But if the price goes above the line and you sold, you would lose that trade. So that's why the last minute is the most important, because it doesn't matter what it did for the first 4. Whatever it does in that last one is going to be the deciding factor as far as who is going to win or to lose that trade. This is the simplicity of a binary, and this is how a binary actually works. That's exactly how it works. Price has to remain either above or below the line in the sand, the strike, the option. And that's going to decide who wins and who loses. Okay, so the behavior of the market is specifically how the price is actually moving. And the way that we want the price to move is exactly what we would want it to do if we were in a trade. This is the simplest way to remember the behavior that we're looking for. So let's say, for example, that we were looking at this line and we were selling. So we would want the price of the market to remain below that line. So if this represented the last minute of the binary, as a matter of fact, the last minute is coming up, so we're actually going to look at it in real time right now. So we're coming up on the last minute now. You're going to see the candle open up here. Okay, so the candle's down here. So if the price is here right now and we're under the minute mark, if you know that the price has to stay under the line in order for you to win, how do you want the price to move? How would you actually want the price to move relative to this line? Would you want the price to move the way that you're seeing it move now? You see how price came from down here and is moving up towards this line? Is that what you want to see if you're in this trade on the sell? Exactly. Exactly. So Jake Harley said that you want to see down, down, and away. And that's not what the price actually did just now. If you look at what it did, it came up towards the line. So you know that that's not the behavior that you would want to see if you were in the trade. Okay? Now, if you were in this trade, the price is above here. So if you were in this trade on a buy, what the price just did just now is actually what you would want to see. It moved up, up, and away from the line. It moved up, up, and away. So that means that the price was not coming back down towards this line, threatening the strike price. It did not do that. It actually moved up, up, and away. So if you were in this trade on a buy, this is the behavior that you would want to see. Okay? On the sell up here, when this opened up, as soon as it started moving back up towards the line, our protocol would dismiss that trade as a potential entry anyway. So that would be a disqualified trade. But I'm right now referring to the behavior itself, like how the price actually moved. And the way that the price moved just now in this example is exactly how you would want the price to move had you been in this trade on the buy. So that's the behavior that you want to see. That's how you want price moving, away from your line. And ultimately, not only is it moving away from the line, if we ignored both lines for a moment and we just looked at how the price moved, the fact that it moved up and the point that it moved up to, for the most part, the price stayed there. So it actually moved up and it stayed. It moved up and it held that position for the most part. Okay? The fact that it did that, that's the behavior that we want to see. Because think about that relative to if you were in this trade on this line. If the price is moving away from the line, we want that, and we want the price to stay away. Move away, stay away. Move away and hold. Move and hold. That's the behavior that we call it, because that's exactly what the price is doing when it's giving us the good behavior. It's moving and it's holding. It's moving to a point, and it's holding that point ultimately into the end of that binary when that clock runs out. That's the behavior that we want to see. So when we're studying and we're doing our observation, we want to see dominance of this behavior. The same way that when we were looking at environment, we want to see dominance of 1 micropip of speed. Okay, so dominance plays a role in both environment and behavior. For behavior, you want to see dominance of move and hold. So what is the price doing if it's not holding? It's basically doing something similar to what you see right here. See how the price came down here first, then it moved back up? That's called a jerk. If the price is jerking, that's not what we want to see. Okay? That is not what we want to see. We want to see the price moving and holding. Wherever it moves to, it needs to stay there. And if it's not doing that, that means that it's jerking. And if it's jerking, we need to continue to observe until we see dominance of this behavior. Move and hold. Okay, so that's how we look at behavior. And then ultimately, the third phase of the protocol is the actual parameters. So the parameters come into play when we have already seen that we have an existing slow condition, and we also see that we have a dominance of the move and hold behavior on multiple binaries. So if you're seeing that you have move and hold, and you're seeing that you're in a slow environment, you already have the first two phases of the protocol complete. And when you move into the parameters, now the parameters are going to back up those two first phases. In fact, the very first parameter that we apply is what? What's the first parameter? Bingo. 1:30. 1:30. So at 1:30, what are we doing specifically? Exactly. Measuring the speed. Measuring the speed. Now, what does that sound like? So if at 1:30, the first parameter is to measure the speed, what is that reconfirming? What is that actually reconfirming? The environment. Exactly. That was the first thing we did when we came on the chart, ain't it? First thing we did. When we're looking for a slow condition, we're looking for dominance of 1 micropip. When we're here in phase 3 of the protocol and applying the parameters, the first one out the gate is 1:30, and that's exactly what we do again. We look for 1 micropip of dominant speed. So from the 1:30 mark down to the 1 minute mark, we're looking for that dominant 1 micropip of speed to confirm that that slow condition is still in place as we continue to apply the parameters. What's the next parameter? What's the next one? Eddie said behavior. Nope. I get you every time, Eddie. Matthew is half right. Holly is full right. 5 plus 1. There we go. There we go. So 5 plus 1 is distance and what? It's actually 2 parameters in that one motion. Distance and speed. Oh, yes. So the 5 plus 1 means that the distance is required to be a minimum of 5 micropips away from your line, or your strike price. And once it is, you now need to know that the speed is 1 micropip. So in order for that to be the case, you need an extra 1 micropip at least on top of that 5 micropip distance that you have. And that gives you both speed and distance. They are both fulfilled when you get 5 plus 1. What's the next parameter after that? Bingo. Back tick. And what is the back tick reconfirming? What is that reconfirming? Behavior. Behavior. So you see how everything comes back full circle in the process. Exactly. Randy hit it right on the head. A back tick is jerk. That's what it is. Because it means that the price is moving back towards your line, and ultimately that means that the price is not holding. If it's backing up, it's not holding, it's jerking. There we go. So backtick is a requirement once we're in the parameters. We do not want to see the price move back down or back up towards our line. If it is, it's disqualified. If it's not, and that parameter is met, what's the next parameter after that? What's after backtick? Pricing. Option pricing. And option pricing is where we are going to utilize our threshold. And what is our threshold? On both sides. Yes. Eddie said favorable pricing is close to the threshold pricing. For a sell would be 17. For a buy would be 83. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is 83 and 17 helping us to do? Does that mean that we want to enter at those prices? Or is it doing something else? What is it helping us to do? Gives you time. Timing. Yes, yes, yes. So, being that it gives us the time that we need to not only make sure that the other parameters are in place, at the end of that process, when we're looking at option pricing, what actually happens? Give me an example of what happens. You got favorable option pricing, and favorable pricing means that, let's say, for example, if you're buying at 83, well, you're not buying at 83, but on a buy, the threshold is 83. If your threshold has not been reached yet, and you have favorable pricing, Holly hit it right on the head. Sequential order, absolutely. So you want to see the sequence of your favorable pricing ultimately make its way to the threshold. And the reason that I'm saying that is because during this process, you need to see it. You need to actually see that. So you're not trying to time your entry now. During this process, you're doing something else. What is it? What is it that you're doing now? You're not trading, so what are you doing? Yep. Yep. And ultimately, what else happens in the entire process? What happens more specifically with the option pricing? When you have favorable pricing, like you said, Holly, if your sequence looks good and then your threshold is hit, what else do you look at after that? So let's say that you're buying. When 83 gets hit, or let's say that it is exceeded. Let's say it goes to 85. Yes, the time left. The time left. When does it price out? That's a piece of information that you're going to carry over with you so that you'll have guidance when you take the follow-through trades. The follow-through trades are our trades. This trade is what? What's this trade? Come on, y'all. Come on. Thank you. MRMH. This is Mark's rule. So, yes, what Holly said when she said move whole, she's right. Now, you want to remember the step when you have your option pricing price out. You look at the clock to see how much time was left. That's going to guide you when you take the follow-through trades. Now, once you see how much time is left, there's one last thing to do. What is it? And you actually said it already. Thank you. There it is. It has to end and move and hold. So once that ends and move and hold, now you have MRMH. Because the Marx rule means that all of the parameters were met, the environment was right, and it ended in moving hold. So all three phases of the protocol were manifested on the chart. And you saw it. Just like Steven said, observe. So you observed the trade. You saw it. So the fact that you saw it now means you have the permission and you have the specific guidance that you need so that when the follow-through trades come, you'll know and have such a clear idea of what your timing is like, right? And you know that everything needs to still be in place, such as your environment, such as your behavior. And it has to be in sync. So that means that everything has to line up. Once all of this happens and that trade sets up, that's your trade. And you know so much because you already have an idea of how much time roundabout will be left on the clock, because this is based on what the market is actually doing right now in real time. If it just showed you that on the Marx rule, you know that the market is either going to remain in that condition and in that environment and remain in sync to give off the follow-through trades, or it's not. So your job is just to pick up and detect when it is and when it's not. So you'll know whether or not to take a trade, because the trade is either going to be there or it ain't. If anything disqualifies that trade, that's not the trade. The market is doing something else. And it's okay. Like, it's okay if the market does not give off the follow-through trades. What's more important is that you know that it's not giving off the follow-through trade. And you also know when it is. So either way, we are safeguarded and protected, and either way we can trade with confidence, whether we're taking the trade or we're not taking the trade, because the confidence is in what you already know the market is going to show you. It's going to show you one or two things. So you're going to see one or two things during the follow-through. It's either going to follow through or it ain't. Like, there's nothing in between. There's nothing in between. So that's why you just cannot mess it up. If you do this, you will not mess it up. Steven said, as of tomorrow, I won't have a trade for 2 weeks, haven't observed Mark's rule. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And notice how he's saying he did not observe Mark's rule. He didn't say there were no Mark's rules on the chart. He's personalizing the process for himself. And that's exactly what you should do. Exactly. Keeping your money. Bingo. Bingo. All right, so I didn't mean to go all the way through, but we went all the way through. So we're going to do the option pricing exercise real quick. And we're going to see if there's some stability here in this current environment. For those of you who are newer, if you don't understand like what we're about to do right now, don't worry about it. But I assure you that you're actually already doing this. If you have already been in training, you do this already, you just don't know it yet. But this is a very powerful tool that's going to quickly help you recognize when there is stability present in the market. And just to be clear, what is stability and why is it important to us? I want you guys to tell me that. What is stability and why is it important to us? Matthew says stability is linked to behavior. Yep. Anyone else? Come on, y'all, don't be scared. Ooh, that's what I want to hear. Yes. Stability leads to MRMH. Yes, exactly, Holly. Eddie said steady and no jerking. Bingo. Bingo. So, J. Carter said I'm waiting to see the answer. So, all right. Now that we know that, oh, matter of fact, hold up. Let's do this. So, what's strike price and which direction? What's strike price and what direction? We doing the OPE right now. I know y'all forgot because y'all ain't saying nothing. What strike price? What direction? Thank you. Jeez. I'm like, my mouse is sitting directly on it. Yes, 3191 sell. So, on the 3191 sell, would you say that the price right now is under 3191 or above? Remember, I can't see the price. We're going to go back to see what it was doing. Would you say it was above or below 3191? Bingo. Matthew said it was under. Let's look and see. Yes, it was. Right here. And the 3191 is the purple line. So, yes, you can see clearly it was underneath. Now, we were able to see direction. We knew which option. And we knew the fact that it was going to remain underneath this strike price. We knew all of that, and we didn't even look at the indicative price. And we did not have the chart up. And I know you're wondering, well, how do you do that? The market is literally telling us everything through a variety of different means. So this tool, which is where we just observe option pricing, on the Nadex platform, everything that you need as far as recognizing stability is incorporated into option pricing as well. You see? So you literally could look at option pricing by itself and determine whether or not there is stability or whether you're getting closer to or further away from stability. And that's what I want you to say. Holly said, I'm not sure how you figured that out. And you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you do it. Eddie said, let's do it again. All right. So, Holly, when we get right around the minute mark, probably like about a minute and 5 seconds, I'm going to ask you what strike price, and I'm going to ask you what direction. And only Holly answer. And I want you to tell me, based on the parameters, what you already understand about option pricing, right? You tell me which direction and which strike price. Okay, that's what I want you to do. So right around about a minute and change, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call on you. She said, so am I looking for 17 or 83? I don't know. You're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me, Holly. And don't worry, when we get to that point, you'll see. You'll know exactly what it is. Watch. Because like I said, this is what you do already. Just the fact that I'm focusing on this aspect of it, it seems like it's something different, but it's not. It's what you do already. Trust me. Now notice, do you see the indicative price anywhere? No. And you don't see the chart. What's the only thing that you see right now? Option pricing. That's it, just option pricing. So just looking at option pricing, you're going to be able to tell me what direction and which strike. And we're almost there. So continue to look at option pricing right now, Holly. So we had a minute and 15. We had a minute and 5. Now, which option and which direction would you be looking at? Even if it's priced out, which option and which direction? She said 31.93 sell. Yes, that was one. And was that sell priced out? Okay, excellent. Very good. How much time was on the clock when you saw that it was priced out? She said she forgot to look. Okay, don't worry about it. So just based on that, would you say that the price right now is under 31.93 or above it? Remember, we can't see what the price is. But just based on what you told me just now about the option, would you say that it was under 31.93 or above? She said close to it, maybe below. Give me a definite answer. Below or above? Why are you saying above? Why'd you say that? Wait, are you looking at it now or are you talking about before? I'm talking about before. Okay, not now. Not now. When you first saw that it was priced out, when I asked you at the minute and change, when that expired, did you think that the price was below or above the line at that time? At that time, not now. Below. Very good. All right. So let's look at the chart real quick so we can see. So that was what, the 10:05, right? So that was this. So 31.93 was here. Price was underneath. It was below. Now you see, you knew that. Bingo. Look at what you just said. It was only $1. So in other words, it was priced out on the sell side, right? All right. So we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do this one coming up. And as we do it, I'm going to explain also what you're seeing in the pricing. Because the last time it happened kind of fast, so I didn't get to talk about it. But we're going to talk about it in this one. So when we get closer to that minute mark, we're going to do the process again. If you guys have questions, you can feel free to ask while we're waiting. Please make sure that you ask whatever questions that you have. All right, so we coming up on a minute and 40. Holly, when we get right around a minute and 30 mark, like we almost there, I want you to start doing the process kind of like from now. Like look at your option pricing, and I want you to just look at how the price is moving. Look at how your prices are actually moving, okay? And yes, only Holly. So by the time we get to the minute mark, I want you to tell me which strike price and which direction. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Which strike price, which direction? Holly. Which strike price, which direction? This is actually good. This is good. She said 31.93 sell. No. Nope. Did you mean 31.93 or did you mean 31.95? And that it's okay. It's okay. It is okay. We're gonna do another one because you had it on the first one that you did. You had it. The one just now, I know that I'm asking you to do things and you're getting a little flustered, but you still have it. But I don't want you to lose what you have and go left because you do have it. You have it. So we're gonna wait. When this one starts over again, we're gonna do it again. And understand that when I tell you to look at what your option pricing is doing, I want you to do what you normally would do. You know what you normally would do. If you're looking at a buy, you know that 83 is your threshold. You know what favorable pricing looks like. If you're selling, you know that 17 is your threshold, and you know what favorable pricing looks like. So if favorable pricing is there, you know exactly which option it is without me even saying anything because you're looking at it. So all I'm doing is telling you to tell me which one it is when you see it. That's really all I'm doing. It's not anything that you don't do already. In fact, it's what you do already, and this is going to help you do what you already do with even more precision. Because this is a way to know, without even doing anything else, whether stability is in the market or not. And when there is not stability in the market, the reason that that's so much information and so good is because it tells you to kind of go away and come back. Like if you're on the chart, you see that there's no stability, you know to just step away and then come back later. Just don't have any expectation of anything happening right now. If you don't even have stability on the chart, how are you going to have a Marx rule? You kind of see the point that I'm making? So it lets you know if there is instability that you're far away from Marx rule. It's nowhere near Marx rule yet. But if there is stability, now we're talking. Because we know that we're getting closer to Marx rule. Because stability is what's needed as the prerequisite to the market actually getting in sync. And when the market gets in sync, that's when Marx rule eventually will come. All right, so we're coming up on 2 minutes. She said, let Jay Carly do it. Nope. Nope. I got you under pressure, Holly. Pressure. There's no pressure, though. No, it's actually something that you do already. It's very, very simple. Holly funny. Holly knows what she be talking about. She's the one that she just be acting like she don't know what she's doing on the low. Throwing you off. Uh-huh. I know what you up to, Holly. All right, so we had 1:10. So now just look at the option pricing, and you tell me which direction and which option. As a matter of fact, which option would you be looking at? Even if it's priced out, which option? There we go, Holly. There we go. You see it? Look, and you see how she said it with authority? 31.95 sell. That was it. Now, the fact that it priced out already, think about that. It's already priced out. And it's at 1. So now you tell me, Holly, where is the price relative to 31.95? Is it over or under 31.95? Mind you, like, understand what you just did. Like, you just read the market without price at all. You're not looking at the price, and you're not looking at a chart. And you just read the market. Look, 31.95 is up here. This is the binary that we were just watching. The price is below. Holly was 100% correct. She knew which option, she knew which direction, and she knew that the price was underneath this strike price. Without looking at the chart and without looking at the indicative price at all. Come on now. Light bulb, Holly? She says, so had the price been high at the end, it would have been above, right? What do you mean? If the price of what? Instead of $1 on the sell. Well, you would have seen different pricing completely on your option. And what actually happened, and this is kind of what I wanted to elaborate on, is once you saw that the option that you were looking at was for a sell, and you knew which strike price it was, when you were looking at the pricing, you saw the pricing make its way down, and then it ultimately went to 1. Now, the fact that it priced out is letting you know that there is a level of stability in the market, a level of it. When you see that there's gradual progressive movement of your option prices, so say, for example, it's in the 30s. Now mind you, this is under a minute. Let's say it's in the 30s. Then you're looking, it's in the 20s. Then you're looking, it's at 20. Then you're looking, it's 19. Then it's 18. Like, you're seeing this gradual progression in one direction. Many times, if the indicative price, if you actually had it up, a lot of times the indicative is not even moving at all. It'll just be there, like just stuck. But because you're able to recognize what you're seeing your option pricing do, when the option pricing is showing you that gradual progressive movement in that one direction, it's letting you know that there's stability in the market. Because if the indicative is not moving, you can't judge from the indicative whether there's stability or not. It ain't moving. When you look at option pricing, you can see whether there's stability or not. Because if there's gradual progressive movement in that one direction, it's letting you know there is actual stability, in spite of the indicative not even moving at all. Yes, and come on. And look at how she said it. She said, because behavior can hide in a stall. Holly, you know the answer to the questions before you even ask. Here's an example. Look at this. Look at what your pricing is doing right here on this. Now, what direction are we talking about on the 31.95? What direction on the 31.95? No. No. Why would it be a sell? If your sell is in the 70s. Okay. All right. I know that you meant buy. You meant the other sell. So, okay. So the 31.95 was on a buy. And you saw right around when it started to get priced out. So the fact that it priced out, I want to say it was like in the 30s, maybe in the 40s. I kind of want to say, I forgot what it was. But anyway, it priced out. So now based on that, you know that the pricing of the indicative is where relative to 31.95, based on the fact that the buy priced out. Where would it be relative to that line? It would be higher. Exactly. Then when you look at the chart, what happens? Here's 31.95. Here's where the pricing was, and it is above the line. And once again, mind you, the indicative was actually moving very slow. It was only within a 2 or 3 micropip range. So even though that range was small, you saw through option pricing that the direction was clear and established, and also from it being priced out, that there was a level of stability that caused it to hold above that line. You see the point that I'm making? So this tool is intended to show you stability and instability. It's showing you whether you're getting closer to the stability that we want, because the stability that we want is that gradual progression, one direction, and it does not necessarily price out early. It will continue, and it'll keep going until the clock goes down closer to like 30 seconds. That's the ideal stability that we want to see, because we know that the closer that we get to that, the more in sync the market actually is. So just through practicing that exercise, you can identify and recognize when there is stability, and you also know when there's not. So you'll know to continue to watch if there is stability, and then go ahead and just, boom, go right into applying the parameters, because you know that that stability is present. Stability can only be present and ultimately in place when you're ready to apply the parameters anyway, because everything that you do in the protocol is leading up to that. Just like how you wait for a slow environment first, then you wait to see the right behavior next, then you go into applying the parameters. If you hop on the chart and you do the OPE, which is this exercise, option pricing exercise, you're going to see whether there's stability or not. If there's no stability, you just wait. The same way that you would wait if there was too much speed. Same way that you would wait if the behavior was not moving whole yet at the end of the binary. You see, it's a tool. Allison said, so I noticed in that last example that the option price was at like 22, and then it dropped to a single digit, and then back up a couple of times before pricing out at $1. So what does that indicate? It indicates that there is a level of stability, but there's also some instability there as well. So, like I was saying a moment ago, you want to kind of know whether you're getting closer to or further away from just straight stability. So you're not using this to look at it and say, oh well, I could have took that trade. This is not to take a trade. This is just to recognize what your overall market environment is looking like, and whether or not there is stability present. Understand that the protocol that we use, the intention of it is to put you in position to see and observe when there is when there's stability present in the market. Because stability is the only time when Mark's rule will come. The only time MRMH is coming is when the market is stable. Period. So this exercise helps you to recognize that stability by looking at option pricing by itself. Look, just like that example just now, you saw I went from 50 to 90. Without even looking at anything, I already know that there's speed. I know that there's speed. It jumped from the 50s into the 90s on the buy side. And I haven't even looked at the indicative yet. You see? So there's instability present, and it's obvious. But not only that, I also know that there's speed. Look, let's look at the chart and see what the price did. This right here. This probably popped. It probably was here, and it probably said pop. It probably went from right here at the bottom, and it just spurted up in one move. And look, you still see the speed. You see? So through that exercise, I can see so much without even looking at anything else yet. And until I see that gradual progression that I want to see, I don't have to do anything further, even as far as applying parameters or anything. I don't have to do nothing. Just wait. The same way that if you're just getting on the chart and you look at environment first, if the market is moving too fast, what do you do? What do you do when the market is moving too fast? Like, what do you actually do if the market is moving too fast? Specifically. Jay Carly said nothing. Kinda. Randy hit it on the head. You wait. You wait. Like, let's say that you just got on the chart and you in observation mode. So you're waiting, but what are you waiting for? You just got on the chart. Market is too fast. What are you waiting for? Do you know what you're waiting for? Exactly. You're waiting for the slow condition. So therefore, you're waiting to see the market slow down. So you want to, at any given time, if you decide to remain in observation mode and stay on the chart, you need to know what you're waiting for at the time. Specifically, market moving too fast, I'm waiting for it to slow down. Market behavior is jerky, I'm waiting for what? Market is jerky, I'm waiting for what? Profitable behavior, yes. Moving hold. We want to see dominance of moving hold. So if you're seeing it's jerking around, it ain't moving and holding, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for it to start moving and holding. You see what I'm saying? You're not on the parameters yet. You're still looking at behavior. You're still in that phase because that's where the market is currently. That's the phase that the market is in. It's in that phase. You got to wait. When it comes, then you move on to parameters. Now you're in the parameter phase. Now what you waiting for? You're waiting for your parameters to line up and be confirmed, to be validated by the market. Each phase of the protocol requires that you wait. You have to wait until the phase is complete. First phase, environment. Market is too fast. We wait for it to slow down. Second phase, behavior. Market is jerky. We wait for it to present profitable behavior. Third phase, parameters. Market keep back ticking. We got to wait until it ain't back ticking no more. The distance ain't right. We got to wait till the distance is right. It's stalling. We got to wait. It keeps pricing out too early. We got to wait. Each time and in each instance, you know specifically what you're waiting for. So understand that the option price exercise is not something that you don't do already. It's just the last part of the parameter. Think about what's the last parameter that you're looking at? Tell me. What's the last parameter? Option pricing. This is why I said you already do it. The very last parameter is option pricing. You're looking at your option pricing. Let's say all your other parameters are in place. The last one, option pricing. Well, what about option pricing? We know that it has to be favorable option pricing. So if it's not favorable option pricing, that means the market is pricing out too early, perhaps, right? Or the pricing could be going in and out. There's a number of different variables that it could be doing. The bottom line is that you know it ain't stable yet. You know that it's not in sync yet. And you just continue to observe until it is. Or continue to observe until you had enough because it just ain't doing it. And then you go on about your business and do something else and come back later. So understand that it's about you just knowing what your job is and knowing where you are within the phases of the protocol so that you know specifically what you're waiting on. You might be in phase 2. If you're in phase 2 and phase 2 ain't complete yet, what are you waiting for? Specifically. You in phase 2, it ain't there yet. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Come on, y'all. We just did it. Phase 2. It ain't there yet, so what are you waiting for? Phase 2 of the protocol. Randy? Nope. Yes. What about it? It ain't there yet, so what are we waiting for? Thank you. Allison said move and hold. See, that's how you remember. You just, like, I know that I sound repetitive. As repetitive as I am, you still have to continue to listen to the training over and over again. When you come on live, I'm still going to test you every time. Because you want to get to the point where you just, you know and you don't even know why you know. You just know. Just like if I ask you, all right, well, in phase 3 of the protocol, if you have a backtick, what are you waiting to see? Your answer is going to be, I'm waiting to not see a backtick anymore. Okay, so now you don't have a backtick, so what's the next parameter? Oh, after that, then option pricing. You see, like you can just know, boom, boom, boom. You know what's next. You know what to wait for next. If you're in phase 3 of the protocol and you have distance but you don't have speed, what are you waiting for? You see what I'm saying? You got 5, but you're not getting that extra one. You're waiting for the extra one. If you're in phase 1 of the protocol, it ain't there yet. What are you waiting for? Now tell me that, Randy. You said it a moment ago. Phase 1 of the protocol. You don't have it yet. What are you waiting for? Slow condition. You see what I'm saying? So it's cause and effect. The market is doing something or not doing something, and you're going to do something. You're going to react to what the market is either doing or not doing. Your reaction is going to be one of 2 things. It's either going to be moving on to the next part or waiting. That's it. You in phase 1, market's moving too fast. All right, we got to wait for it to slow down. All right, market is in a slow condition now. What do we do next? We move on to the next phase. What's the next phase? Behavior. All right, so let's look at behavior. It's too jerky. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for it to stop jerking. We're waiting for the move and hold. Profitable behavior. Okay, we got that now. We've seen that. This dominance of move and hold. Yes. Yes, we got two now. We're 2 for 2. Now what do? Now we move on to parameters. All right, so we apply the parameters now. We waiting on 5 plus 1. We keep getting 3. So what are you waiting for? You're waiting for 5 plus 1. But Mark, it keeps giving 3 and 4s. Can I take it? Can you take what? You see what I'm saying? Like, these questions will stop coming up. You won't ask these questions anymore because you understand what you're doing. For one, there is no can I take anything because you don't have Mark's rule. And everything that you're looking at and waiting for is leading up to Mark's rule. I was hoping somebody would get a kick out of that. It really, like, I'm very fascinated by the fact that I've never seen, well, no, I can't say that because I haven't seen everything, so I can't actually say that. But what I was going to, and what I kind of was just going to lean into was that I know for a fact that the repetition here is high. Like, the training here is very repetitive. Like, if you listen to 2 trainings, with the exception of what we might have talked about throughout the training, they are the exact same, damn near. We go through the training the same way every night. That's how repetitive it is. And in spite of it being that repetitive, just because of how a human being is wired, it still takes you time to actually understand and to grasp it in your own head, like in your own brain, because of how you were wired personally. The way that you're wired, the way that you understand things, and the way that light bulbs come on, it could be something so crazy and so arbitrary that will make the light bulb come on for you. I don't know what it might be. It could be just something off the wall that has nothing to do with nothing. People tell me this. They're like, oh, Mark, remember that night you was talking about Rice Krispies? That was the night right there that I actually understood what you was talking about when you was talking about the protocol. And I'm like, really? Rice Krispies. Okay. But whatever it is, it just made it click. It was something about that specific training. But it's nothing that I'm saying different. It's the same thing that we're talking about. There's 3 phases of the protocol. It's the same 3 phases. Same 3 phases that it was last week. And the week before that. So I'm only bringing that up because I'm very fascinated by the fact that it's really the repetition and the practice, and you don't really understand how much of it you have to put in before you get it. But you got to put in the work. Like, putting in the work is what you guys are doing already. You're on training. You're listening to training. You're asking questions. You're in the group chat. You re-listen to the training. Then you listen to the training again. Then you listen to the training again. And each time that you listen to, sometimes even the same training. Like, for example, you can listen to training number 301 10 times. And each time it'll feel like a different training. And it's not because of the training, it's because of you. It's because of how you are wired. I don't know what it is inside of you that's going to be triggered by something that you didn't hear the last time that you played that same training. And that's just how it works. That's just how it works. That's how it goes. So it's very powerful, but at the same time, you have to understand the dynamic of yourself. This is why I always tell you guys, be prepared for the market to reveal you to you. Because as soon as you thinking that you got it, something else happens. Like, oh man, I thought I had it. I'm confused as hell. Because it's your own process that you go through in addition to the training. But the training is designed to help you because it's very repetitive. Like, repetition is the best thing for you. Make no mistake about it. It's the repetition. That's how you're going to learn this. It's just like working out. You want to be fit. You can't pop a pill to be fit. It's the reps. You got to work out every day. Adam said, especially helpful because you're not on the charts all day. And each time you come on, it's a different situation and everything's coming at you fast. You got to have everything in you. Bingo. Exactly. You have to know how to even react to the environment that you're in at the time. He said the best ball players in the world still taking batting practice every day. Amen. As a matter of fact, they practice more than everybody does. And it's because of the love. They got the love. They have love for the game. It's not just about working hard. They love it. And that's what it is. It's like you really have to love the fact that you are actually acquiring this skill. You're acquiring the patience and the discipline that you need. And that's crazy. It's crazy because you see what it takes. It's like, damn, they be training all the time. Yes. I'm like, when do you not train? I can't even imagine not training. Come on. The market closes and we upset. Who hates Fridays? Most people love Friday. Friday come around for us, we'd be like, damn. All right, well, so I guess we got to go to the videos. For real, man. Oh, man. Matthew said drive and will to be great. Stephen said consistency is key. Jay Carter said that's why we win. We always train in 25-8. Adam says if you're 1% better each day at the end of the year, you're 365% better than you were at the beginning. That's 3x. That's 3x. Holly said, I see the OPEs, the chart without the candles now. Yes, that's all it is, Holly. And like I said, you do it already. Matthew said, man, I hate the weekends now. For real. Jeffrey said, I'm not going to lie, it'd be boring. Steven said, ain't that the truth? My whole life is a lie from Friday at 4 to Sunday at 6. Yo, it's crazy. I know, man. I know. Oh, my goodness. And then you got kids, it's just like, oh. You be like, oh. You be like, leave me alone. No, I don't want to go anywhere. No. All right, so this was another great training. Per usual. New students, once again, video number 301 inside the playlist. 301 and everything following that. I do recommend that you watch number 301 multiple times, however, before you move on. make sure that you guys stay connected in the group chat. If you have questions or concerns, you don't understand something, throw your question in the group chat and you will get a response. Tonight's training will be available within the playlist within about a half hour or so. And we will be back on training tomorrow night, same time, same place. Another excellent training. So I'll see you guys momentarily in the group chat. Market environment is actually pretty good right now. So we may see some, may not. We'll see. Love, peace, and soul, everybody. I'll see y'all in training tomorrow night, same time, same place. Peace.